Greetings and welcome to the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable. Everybody's had their hair done today for the show. I'm Rob. That's Galen down here in the basement, shining, strong like a bull. Vishal is directly above me, and in the far corner is Chris Perry, and he's not frozen. Today we're talking about uranium, people. Uranium, it's very important, potentially dangerous. Azincourt Energy is AAZ on the venture exchange. It's Alex Klenman out of Vancouver. He's the CEO. We'll also talk about Blue Sky Uranium, BSK on the venture out of Vancouver. It's Nick Kakos, the CEO. Skyharbour, Jordan Trimble. I think we ran into him the other day, CP. He's the CEO out of Vancouver, SYH on the venture. And on the TSX also venture, STND, which is Standard Uranium. And Mr. Vishal, you're going to tee us up. By the way, that's Jonathan Bay out of Vancouver. What do you got to say about the all-important uranium?
For sure. So uranium is still quite hot with the retail crowd. And here we have a selection of 3 companies in the Athabasca region in Saskatchewan, which has the highest grade uranium, versus one in Argentina, which we'll talk about at the end. Azincourt Energy, not a mystery to our viewers. We've talked about this company many times. They are advancing a project in the Western Athabasca, and they are close to many major big players here. So you can see their East Preston project there on the map. Skyharbour, also another one that we've talked about many times on this program. Another company in the Athabasca region. Some big backers are behind this company, such as Marin Katusa and Sprott. Their big project is, again, their East Preston, and again, closeology, right? So this is something that's a theme with all these explorers in the Athabasca region. Standard Uranium, now this is one I find interesting. This is a company that is also advancing projects in the Athabasca region, and their flagship is the Davidson River project. Although they have a few other projects here, the Sundog and also the East Basin project, and they are currently doing drilling there right now. So we're just waiting for results from Davidson. And then finally, a new uranium and vanadium district in Argentina, in southern Argentina there. And this is a company that has the Amarillo Grande project, an in-house discovery, and it's the only uranium project in Argentina that has a resource and an initial preliminary economic assessment. So very exciting things going on down in Argentina.
Chris Perry, I'm thinking we might need to get a pad in Athabasca, maybe rent a place, send the troops up there, because there's a lot going on. Think of the parties.
Well, yeah, the parties in the Athabasca are not exactly legendary. Generally, there's a couple of geologists drowning their sorrows in a corner, and Dev Randhawa from fishing sliding his hotel room key across to people unknown. So anyway, uranium. As Vishal mentioned, these are 4 very interesting companies. They're all companies that have had some involvement with us previously in terms of either being previous clients or things that we've sort of highlighted to our readers. In order of size, Standard is a $14 million company. Azincourt is $21 million company. Blue Sky is 33, but has obviously a lot of blue sky. And Skyharbour is $61 million company. I also like when we talk about uranium to talk about Uranium Royalty Corp just on the side. If you're just interested in uranium itself and the guys that are, I guess, allocating resources to those who want to drill for it, that's a good sort of catch-all. For mine, though, I'm always the guy that wants the smallest market cap doing the most work, and that to me right now is Azincourt. They did a rollback. The rollback held well for a little while, but then the markets went into a bit of a cratering, and people who were steady hands became unsteady hands. So now the company is back to the same share price it was at before it went for a 2.5 to 1 rollback. There's no negative news at the company at all. It's not a different company in any way, shape, or form. You're just getting a 2.5 times discount on the share price, which to me is absurd. If you're going to get into Azincourt now, I think you're getting it for an absolute song, considering where they are, what they're doing, how many partners they have, how much work they're doing, and how much cash is in the bank for them. And they've just raised a bunch of money, and they're sitting on a $21 million market cap. So all these companies are good. Standard is an interesting newer deal. Blue Sky is a little bit further along if you don't want to worry about draining lakes in Athabasca. Skyharbour has more land than anyone in Athabasca and more partners, options, JVs, the whole banana. But I think for mine, Azincourt just presents the best value right now. I think any money you put into that when the market gets a bit of grip under it, I think Azincourt's likely to make a move up. And even if it doesn't, geez, at this price, like, where's your risk? Like, if you scrapped it for parts, you'd get more money back.
So you're trying to say it has the best risk to reward ratio pretty much for
mine? Yeah, I just, like, it seems to have found a base after this fall away. The fall away was something that hit everybody. Like, you go through the charts of all these companies, they've all hit the same thing, right? Exactly. But it's also had a little jump up, a little base building. Clearly, everyone out there believes that this is as bad as it gets. And for mine, it's time to start wriggling a bit more cash out of the couch cushions and take as much Azincourt as I can at this price.
There we go.
Pretty good. I have to disclose, I just tried to buy some today, and I haven't checked back to see if the order went through, to be quite honest. Mr. Galen, agree or disagree?
The uranium sector is pretty hot right now, dare I say radioactive. But the
Mr. Pun. He's a funny guy.
I love that one. Anyway, the market itself is a bit shaky, which is unfortunate, and it's reflected itself in the way the stocks are being treated. The thing is, however, we are on the cusp of a whole new energy revolution, and nuclear power will provide the actual functional base to that. And uranium is the only way to go. And we're talking about supply chain security. It's best to have something on our property, somewhere near, somewhere domestic. Athabasca Basin has some of the highest grade uranium deposits on the planet. These are good places to be, and these three companies are all situated within that area. Yep. And as Chris said, Azincourt Energy, in terms of pricing and possession and the stage of where their exploration is at, is a real tasty treat if you want to look at it that way. Standard is a nice thing, but it's a little bit of a newer project coming out the gate. And Blue Sky Uranium, that's Jordan Trimble, correct? Blue Sky? Yeah,
that was Skyharbour's Jordan Trimble.
Sorry, Skyharbour. I apologize.
Nick Kakos.
Kakos, yes. Jordan Trimble is a well-recognized figure within the mining industry. The family is well-recognized and has great success track record. So that's a person that I would probably look at the management and go, you know what, I could put some stuff behind that. These are nice companies. Now, you may look at, say, that the market itself is not really pleasant right now, and it isn't. But I think it'll be far less unpleasant to be involved in commodities than to start throwing your money at NFTs. Please stop doing that. All right.
I'm going to do an NFT of Galen asking people to not put money into NFTs.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Holy ironic. That would be awesome.
Freeze the screen and we'll sell it.
Yep.
All right, let's hit the charts. Michelle, back around to you.
For sure, yeah. So before we look at those charts, this is the chart of uranium. It still is up 50%, 52.39% for the year. But yes, uranium did take $65 a pound there and has dropped a little bit. But it seems that there's a big support level here for uranium. So I think, if we find a bottom here, that's going to look very good for the uranium miners as well. And just as Chris mentioned, a lot of these charts look the same. Big sell-off. Agincourt here we talked about, but it does look like there's a basing here between 8 cents and 10 cents. And that selling pressure is now exhausted. So if we break above 10, you really get this stock moving. Skyharbour has had a bit of a pop when it hit the lows of 35. But again, just ranging now here between 45 to 47.5 cents. Blue Sky is at a major support level at 15 cents, and this support level has held since 2020. It would be really nice if we see basing just like we saw in August of 2021 and back in December of 2020, just like this, because you can see what happens when we do base like that. So keep an eye out for that in the next coming days. And then Standard Uranium, I just find this one interesting because we did print new record all-time lows hitting 10 cents on May 12th. And since then, we have also begun to base. And I just like this one because there is a drill program that's already being, that's undergoing right now. So there's a likely chance for a catalyst that can get this stock popping, as long as with, a move with uranium prices higher. So look very similar. A lot of these charts, a lot of basing, a lot of downside, but again, basing, and now we're looking for a new trend to begin.
Beautiful. By the way, the quote of the day thus far comes from Galen, and the quote was, "On the cusp of a whole new energy revolution." And that is profound. Chris, what is your choice in terms of taking my $7,500? What are you going to do with it?
I mean, I don't think there's a bad bet amongst these guys. Honestly, I would probably spray it around in normal times, but I just think Azincourt is so damn cheap. It's such a discount, and for no good reason other than it rolled back. Well, so if you're going to sell a stock because it rolled back, at some point, if you thought there was goodness in that stock, you're going to, once it's done the dropping, you're going to buy it back. So I imagine that there's probably some coil in the spring for Azincourt. I'd put 5 in it at this level and maybe share the rest amongst the others. But I wouldn't leave much cash on the table right now.
7,500. What about Galen? Matching?
Yeah, actually, I think I'll go 7,500 as well, and also probably zero in on Azincourt because, as Chris said, the only reason really it seems that it has become such a bargain price at this point in time is because they did the stock rollback. So the company's got a lot of good projects, and it's pushing them forward in a great location, closeology all over the place. How can you not? I'm dropping 75 on Azincourt.
Woo!
Wow.
Look at me.
All right. Vishal, don't shock us.
No, I'm going to be dropping the full amount as well. Technical wise, I think Azincourt and Standard have the best patterns. But in terms of maybe catalysts coming ahead, I think Standard and Skyharbour, because they just have some ongoing drilling just right now. So take a look at those two companies if you're interested in, a short-term, near-term catalyst for the stock price. I'm going to stick with the Canadian boys here, though, and I'm going to split my 7,500 evenly between Agincourt, Skyharbour, and Standard. Not saying anything bad about Blue Sky, but I just like the jurisdiction in Saskatchewan right now.
I believe we have spent all our dough.
There we go.
And I believe in your case, that would be $3,750 twice. Huh? Pretty good. All right. So we can't guarantee anything, folks. Nothing of what these gentlemen have just said is guaranteed. I know that you find that hard to believe. Nor is past performance guaranteeing future results. So please do your own homework and research. Take what we've given you and run with it. But again, don't assume anything. We wouldn't want you to do that. For Galen, strong like bull. Also Vishal upstairs and Chris up there in the corner. All the money going out to the uranium biz today on the Equity Guru Investor Roundtable.